The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you what's happening around our coverage area. This week we're going to be starting out with John Moffat in the town of Mendon. John, how are we doing in Mendon?
Chris, as always, thanks so much for having me. Just wanted to bring up a couple of things today. First of all, at the last town board meeting, the board approved the purchase of two speed traffic monitors. So we'll be expecting those hopefully in early September. They're fairly mobile, they're solar. We are going to be placing those in various places around town on town roads. I emphasize the word town roads because we do, as of right now, we do not have the permission to put them on any state or county roads. However, we will be pursuing that as we test them out on some of the town roads. And I think with the beginning of school starting, hopefully, we all hope school starts hopefully pretty soon, we would be putting them in a lot of the tracks, and hopefully this will bring attention to people's speed throughout some of the housing tracks in the town. Also, we are going to have a special meeting on August 23rd. That's a special town board meeting that'll be at the community center. That is because we received a final report from the military committee on a response to the tragic helicopter crash in Mendon back in January. At that point, the town board will be considering the options that the committee put forth as far as an appropriate response from the town. We did receive our ARPA funding through from the federal government through the state of New York. It's about $655,000. We receive 50% of that now and another 50% of it next year. It's all based on population. So if any of our folks see maybe what someplace like Greece or Irondequoit's receiving in the millions of dollars, you'll understand why we received a much smaller amount, because, as I said, it's based on population. And we'll be considering some of that funding for some type of, depending on what the response is regarding the military, any type of memorial or response that goes forward, we possibly might be able to use some of that funding. The main doors that face the parking lot at Town Hall have been removed temporarily to have them refinished. I think I mentioned this last week. They do take a beating with the weather, and they'll be refinished and looking sharp here pretty shortly. And there is an organized remembrance for 9/11 that will take place on September 11th, 8:30 in the morning at the cemetery in Honeoye Falls. So I would encourage everyone to attend that if possible, and pay respects to all those who not only lost their lives, but were affected by that tragic event. COVID related, we haven't seen a big uptick here locally. I know the numbers in Monroe County are escalating. However, I don't see that type of thing. Haven't heard anything too tragic locally in the town of Mendon, us being on the outskirts of the county and a lot closer to probably the population density of many of our neighbors in Livingston and Ontario County. So, but we will continue to monitor it. At the Mendon Public Library, they are requiring masks for entrance. At Town Hall, we're leaving it up to the individual, with school tax collection beginning right around the 1st of September. We will review that policy prior to that. So hopefully we can stem the tide on this COVID thing, as we've seen it back and forth a few times now over the past year or so. Again, thanks for having me, Chris.
All right. Thanks, John. Eileen Hansen, Village of Scottsville. How are we doing in Scottsville?
We are doing well over here in Scottsville. Just to follow up on a couple of things John said, our ARPA money did come in, and the total for the Village of Scottsville will be about $197,000. So being a smaller place, our slice of the pie is a little smaller. Also, in terms of masks, we have always asked that non-vaccinated people wear masks in the municipal building. Now we are, according to the guidance and the fact that our building is a town building where we rent space, they have decided that they're strongly recommending that even vaccinated people wear their masks. So we had our town board meeting, our village board meeting, excuse me, this past Tuesday, and everybody was masked up and very cooperative. So let me go over a few things that we discussed at our meeting. We had a public hearing that evening to consider local law 5-2021 to rescind local law 1/2009, chapter 99, which was the historic preservation ordinance. And the reason we're doing this is because in 2017, they reviewed and updated it, made any changes, and then put it in as chapter 170. So we have two chapters on the same thing. And there were some conflicts in it. So we went through the board, we had the public hearing, and then the board voted to rescind the first one, which is chapter 99. And that means chapter 170 is the one in effect at this point. The Historic Advisory Board for Rochester Street will be giving us a little feedback as they go through and my board goes through chapter 170 to see if there's anything we missed or anything we need to add. Now, NYMER was in this week, and that's the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal, and they were here to do a risk assessment as they do every year. The village did well, but just a couple of things to take care of. One being we need to add some playground mulch at Johnson Park, which is the DPW is on that and doing that now. And then we have to make sure that we are requiring hold harmless agreements for any and all contractors and service providers conducting business on behalf of the municipalities. So we want to make sure we get those out. The code enforcement officer has been working on the vacant properties in terms of yard maintenance. Now we have an ordinance on maintaining your property. We don't have a lot like a big municipality would, but we do have a few of them around the village. So letters were sent out, and we have to allow a certain amount of time for them to correct the situation. That time has elapsed, and the village now is going to contact, we're going to get a contractor. They will come in and do the mowing as needed. The cost of this service will be added to the tax bill for the property. And finally, the Greenway crews have been trimming along the Greenway. And as they finish that, they'll begin the resurfacing. You may see a lot of equipment in and out of Canawagas Park, and that's what they're working on. So I believe that's it for Scottsville, and thank you for this time to speak to our residents.
All right. So we had Rick Milne on for a moment. Let's see if we can allow him to catch back up. There he is. He's coming back on again. So as soon as Rick comes back on, there's Rick again. He's connecting with audio. He appears to be at an undisclosed location somewhere within the terrestrial atmosphere. All right, Rick, go ahead, take it away. What's going on in Honeoye Falls?
Well, sorry to be doing this on the road again, but travel takes you to many places, I guess. This week, Chris, we've really, again, continued to focus on the Hyde Park project. It's coming along very, very well. The embankment work and the rebuilding of the embankment was completed. They've done a really great job. This company, GSI, and their team have just been fantastic to work with. These folks even get together every morning, and it's not just a show. They actually get in a circle. They do stretching exercises. It's all about safety. It's all about preparation. They're making sure that they're watching their surroundings. So really a great company to work with. We've had a couple of issues, a little bit of driveway issues and lawn issues that, we had warned everybody about. We could have some problems with all these trucks coming in, and we'll be taking care of that right away. But we're very, very happy with the project. So then next week, as this new week starts, we should be getting into the road work and getting the road rebuilt and all that. So we're right on schedule and doing really, really well. We continue to have some wonderful weather issues on our Tuesday nights. We've now had, I think, 5 concerts rained out or canceled. We have 3 of them, which I'll be sending to the Sentinel and on our Facebook pages, etc. But we have at least 3 of them rescheduled. So we'll be going right into September now. So it's been an interesting summer for sure. And then also, I know one of the questions you had asked was about the ARPA money. The Village of Honeoye Falls has received their share for this year as well. We are going to plan to use virtually 100% of the money that we get this year and next for 2 things. One is going to be to rebuild our website, which is critical to our business. But then the balance of it and the vast majority of it is going directly into the wastewater treatment plant. We wanted to make sure that we're using this, not for a lot of small projects that for us may not make that big of an impact, but we have a lot of continual work that has to be done on the wastewater treatment plant, and that certainly affects every resident and every business within the community. So that money is going to be going into what's called a SCADA project, and that really revolves around new computer systems, but the intellectual part of the wastewater treatment plant. And for those of you who have never been to a wastewater treatment plant, I'll tell you, it would be eye-opening. Yes, maybe a little bit of nose opening as well, but it really is a really incredible facility. And, we all just put water down our drains and flush our toilets, but there's a lot of parts and moving parts of this whole process. So if anybody ever wants a tour, we have a lot of our 5th grade students go down there for tours during the school year, and their parents and the kids just absolutely love it. So if there's a group that wants to go down, just give Dave Ford or Eric Walker a call and we'll get you set up. But that's really it for the village right now. We are concerned certainly, about the increase with the Delta variant with COVID. We know that there is an uptick in our area as well. We're not seeing a lot of ambulance calls or new calls based upon it, but we know the numbers are starting to hit us as well. We have not gone back to requiring masks in the office or anything like that, but we're not that far away from it. We're trying to work around it, but we're really just keeping an eye on it. And we can just stress to people that, use common sense. If you're in large groups, if you're around a lot of people, you may want to wear a mask. And we just keep stressing to people that it's certainly our suggestion that everybody get vaccinated when they can. So with that, Chris, I thank you again for the opportunity. It's always great to see everyone. Sorry, I'm doing this remotely.
That's all right. Thanks, Rick. Question, SCADA, just from the transcription standpoint, I'm sure it's going to mess it up. How do you spell that?
SCADA.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
John, Eileen, do you have anything more to add that, no? Okay, well, thanks everyone for being here today. Thank you for listening. Remember, we're on every Sunday at 1 o'clock on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Otherwise, the transcript will appear in the paper, plus the supplemental reports for those who couldn't make this call. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.